Good morning. Happy Friday. I have Neural Coffee in hand and it is perfect. Man, this is supposed to be the rest and recovery weekend. I got a busy Friday coming up. Got an interview, a couple calls. Got to dig into today's Q&A. This is with Alex. And Alex is a part of a private Facebook group that's associated with people that have gone to the intensive. And I had a video posted up there where I was doing a sacral mob that was going to produce a late representation at the right sacral base. And so I had one of my guys totally set up on the table in a late representation on that side. And I made a comment that this is also a reproduction of a position that we would use in quadruped if you're taking a step forward. And so Alex's question pertained to, well, how is this actually represented in that quadruped position? Because obviously when you're laying down, it doesn't quite look the same. And the thing that we want to recognize is that there's points in time in every propulsive activity where you're going to have that late representation, a middle representation, an early representation. And what you want to conceptualize is that you're actually just moving the axial skeleton through space. And so these are the points in time that we want to look at the axial skeleton, where we have the iterative anatomy of the thorax and the pelvis actually doing the exact same thing at the same time. And that's what this mobilization is all about. So I'm going to show you the video that Alex was referring to, and then we'll go right into Alex's question. And you actually see a little demo. Alex was kind enough to volunteer and actually demonstrate the quadruped gait, so you can actually see how it relates to the mobilization. So again, thank you, Alex, for this. Everybody have an outstanding Friday. The podcast will be up on Sunday as usual. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next week. We've got late on this side, so we can see it right there. So if he was quadruped, so this is the position that we were talking about. So right arm up, right leg out. So you see where the pillows are, Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, that's why the pillows are as they are. Okay. That's creating a new frame of reference for the orientation of the axial skeleton. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can see, and then I think, do I show the mob? Yeah, there's the mobilization there. So all I'm doing is magnifying the pressure on the right sacral base to emphasize the turn to the left. So this is a late representation on the left side, okay? Or on the right side, late on the right side to turn him left. Okay, do you have anything interesting to talk about?
Well, I have another follow-up.
Okay, go ahead and ask your follow-up, and while you do that, I'm going to try to get to
so
that picture so everybody can see what we're talking about.
One of the issues I have with it is it seems like the right arm and the right leg are stepping in a manner that you would not step when you actually crawled. And so maybe this is just a misconception on like how that pattern works.
Okay, so if you're on all fours, okay, and you were stepping forward with your right hand.
Yeah.
Okay. So just step forward with your right hand only.
Yeah.
Like just that. Would that increase the distance between those two extremities?
Yeah.
Would they both be oriented into external rotation?
Yep.
Okay. Would they both be applying pressure to the dorsal rostral and the sacral base?
I mean, the late
Which
side
way would you be turning? So if you're reaching forward, all you gotta do is reach forward now. It's like just reach forward with your arm. It's like which way are you turning the axial skeleton? That's basically what you want to look at.
I mean, so I understand how they're both applying a late positioning on the right side.
Okay.
But I guess my question is, so we want the whole axial skeleton to turn one direction
Yes,
when we do things, but why does that positioning not coincide with like a normal crawling pattern? Because it
is a normal crawling pattern.
So maybe that's my misconception, because to me that mobilization is the right leg and the right arm stepping forward at the same time. which I don't think that's how you.
Okay, they're ERing at the same time into a late representation. So if you start in even all fours and you step forward with your right hand, your right hip would be moving towards a late representation of ER, abduction. Okay.
Mhm.
And then the right arm would be reaching forward into a late representation of ER. That's how you take a step forward when you're crawling. You have to turn the axial skeleton away from the side that you're reaching with.
So
Would you like to get down on the floor, young man?
yeah, sure.
It never hurts, right? To have a nice demo on a Thursday morning. Oh, look at this. Is this? Oh, I thought we had a gym. Never mind. I saw the podium back there. Is that okay? I gotcha.
All right.
I thought we had a place for the dumbbells over there. Okay. So can you move forward so we can see all of your all fours? Maybe the cat can actually help us out here because he's like a quadruped. So all I want you to do is actually just step forward with the right hand and make it a pretty decent step. Just exaggerate it. Yeah, you go. There you go. Okay. So what position is that right hip in now?
Right hip.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it would be middle right now.
So your knee is actually inferior to where your hip was, and you're turning your pelvis to the left as you're stepping forward with your right.
Okay, yeah.
You're turning dorsal rostral. Now move your right knee a little bit closer to the left. I'm sorry, your left knee closer to the left hand.
Say that one more time.
Move your left knee closer to your left hand. Now, are you ever in that position when you're crawling?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's crawl, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So what we're doing, there's a big point of confusion in regards to propulsive activities, because there's a point in time where everything is going in the same direction at the same time, and there's a point in time where it looks like they're going in opposite directions. And this is because of the passage of energy, okay, through your body as you move. So as you walk across the ground, we take energy from the ground and then we push it back down into the ground, right? So you understand that, like we have energy that comes up from the ground, we take that and then we push it back down as we propel ourselves forward. And so what we want to do though is we're going to take 3 snapshots. As you step forward, you take a snapshot. And so that's at the extreme end of like an early, and then you take the extreme of the late, and that's where everything is sort of, as you said, in phase. So everything is in the ER representation in the early, everything is in the ER representation in the late. And then if you go like dead center middle, that's where you're going to see this superposition of ER and IR, where the IR would be most strongly represented. In between those two, you have a waveform that is moving through the system, and so there will be segments that appear to be moving in opposition. Okay, but what it is, it's just a relative timing issue, right? And this is the waveform, as it were, going through the system, and that's what creates so much confusion. And so what you were doing with your crawl is I was sticking you in a very obvious position where that sequencing of energy passing through you was a non-issue. So I put you sort of like at the end of that late representation where everything looks the same. As you transition through that, so if you were crawling across the ground, there would be a timing of that energy, right? Mm-hmm. And then there would be that one point in time where I just stuck you in, where it goes, oh, everything's the same. And that's the thing that needs to be appreciated, because what happens is some people can't do that. Like they can't change from one to the other. Mm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, so when you do a mobilization of any kind, what you should be doing. So if you're mobilizing a foot, okay, let's just say you're trying to get a middle P foot. What orientation should the rest of that body be in?
Should be a middle P.
Yeah, because you know why? Because it would interfere with your foot mobilization, wouldn't it? It's like, okay, as soon as I try to send a signal from the foot proximally, what's going to kick back to me? Right? Because that's what's going to happen. Like when you're mobilizing a foot, you're creating a transfer of energy into that system, right? And it's going to reflect back to you. So if I'm trying to mobilize a middle P foot and I don't have somebody oriented in the right body position and they're kicking back an ER wave at me as I'm trying to mobilize a foot into middle P, good luck with that. And now you know why some of your mobilizations fail, because you didn't have the orientation right. Right? But they don't tell you that because everything's looking, they're giving you a structural reductionist representation saying, oh, this knee is a separate entity. It does things all by itself. It's like, no, it doesn't. And then they go as far to tell you in school, I know they told you this in school because it's a standard rule of PT. It's like you always go a joint above and a joint below. When you're like, if you got a knee, you got to look at the hip, you got to look at the foot, right? And then they don't tell you why or how. They just say it's really important that you look at both. And they go, okay, that's great, but I don't know what that means. Like, what is the big deal? What is the difference that I have to appreciate in the hip if I have a knee that does this? They don't go far enough in the explanation, right? So they appreciate what it was at regional interdependence.
Yeah.
I think is the term that they give you in school.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they appreciate the concept, but they don't have any way to explain it to you as to its value, right? Does that help?
Yes, that was very helpful.
Okay. I apologize for not having that video handy. I know it's on the Facebook group somewhere, but
I could find it very easily if you want to do it after the next question.
You want it? Well, hang on. Can you find it very easily, like right now?
Bill,
Yeah.
I posted it. Oh, Bill, I sent it to you on DM. If you look at the bottom of the chat.
Oh, okay. Hang on. How do I get into that thingy? Hang on a second. Where do I get my? Hang on. Okay. Hang on. I'm gonna click on it and see what happens. Is everybody still there? All right, there you go. Hang on. I'm gonna blow this up.
Sacrum into a late propulsive representation.
Oh, I don't want to hear my own voice.
Eric, line pro.
1 second. How do I turn off the volume? All right, share my screen. Share.